I am Paul, and amateur radio call sign is Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango. Today I'm going to test and show you this little mobile transceiver from Radioddity. This is the QT80. The question why 80? Because this is 80 watt radio and normally it works just on 10 meters. But after the modification you can get even 15, 12 and also CB bands. It works like a standard CB radio or it works VFO mode like a standard amateur radio transceiver. This transceiver I would like to test with this Radioddity mobile whip antenna. The link for this antenna and the video I already did, you can find down in the video description. So for more details you can get down there and watch the video. So now let me go into this car and connect this transceiver to it. The antenna is currently set to 10 meter band and the SWR is currently 1.1. So I'm really excited how this radio really works right here from this forest. It is very heat here, it's very hot, it's temperature around 33 degrees. I'm a little sweating, but don't worry, let's get started. Okay, so I am actually ready to connect this radio, but on the beginning I have to mention one issue which I found, and that is not enough space around the SO239 connector. Because of the large heatsink, there is not enough space in it, and I have a really big challenge to put the antenna connector here into this socket. Okay, but it is not impossible, but you need a lot of effort and patience to get it into this connector. So here in the box with this radio you will get also these screws, protection rubbers, fuse and some other stuff which you will need for your radio. As you can see, there is also stand for the hand mic. Then you can also, or you will get also this data cable in the box, which you will use in the future for connection between computer and your transceiver. Actually, you can program your radio from your computer. Also, you can use this stand or a bracket for this radio if you wish to mount this transceiver to some kind of surface. And finally, this English written manual, which is pretty well printed and written in English. So actually I learned everything what I needed from this manual. You can see here this adjustable stand, which is normally a stand for laptops or tablets, and you can adjust the width of this stand and also height or the angle of the stand. See here. It is very practical, and I think I have seen the same stand on the Radioddity web shop. Also, I purchased this stand from a local store because I was looking for some stand for my laptop. It's pretty hard to get this connector in it, but it's not impossible. I am going to mount the stand, and for it I will need these protection rubbers with sticker in the back. Also I need this little screws. We have 4 of them in this package. So put the sticker out. And remove these internal rubbers. and put this rubber inside the bracket or the stand, and the same thing on the second side. Very nice. Now this radio case is protected with these rubbers, and we can put the radio in. So the front of the radio should be here and the back here, and therefore we have 4 screws. Okay, and now you can set the angle which you wish to use. So I'm going to use this one and fix this position with the second screw. Maybe you already noticed this little bump here on top of the cover, because the radio was a bit poorly packed, and during the transfer to my locations, maybe a courier or somebody had to push this package here on top, and it caused this a little damage. But I talked about this issue with supplier or the seller, and he promised that in the future they will pack this radio much better, so this shouldn't happen in the future. Radio comes with this piece of wire with power pole connectors, so connection is very easy. Of course, here on the cable you can see 2 fuses and also third one here. Everything is protected. And finally this microphone, which is coming with the QT80. It has also up and down buttons on top and programmable function in the middle, which you can change in the menu of this radio.
Okay, your friend, 100% copy. Lima Zulu 1, Papa, Mexico, Papa, 5 with Bravo microtuning. Thank you very much for the 59 Mysore report in Bulgaria. The USA report is a 5 and 6, a 5 and 6, a radio.
Oscar, Mike 0 Echo Tango Portable.
Oh, looking for DX. Hello, CQ, CQ10, Zulu Sugar 5, Japan Yankee. Zulu Sugar 5, Japan Yankee. Zulu Sugar 5, Japan Yankee, calling CQ10 and listening.
Well, here you can see the state of a new radio unpacked from the package. So this radio comes with a 10 meter band only, and you're able to tune this radio within 28 MHz and 29 MHz. You can switch it into this channel mode, or by long press of the band button you can go into the VFO mode, and then you are able to tune this radio within whole range. I am going now to extend this frequency because this radio is capable work also on 21 megahertz band. It works also on 24 megahertz band, also on the CB band, and of course on 10 meters. The expansion of this radio is very simple. So let me open the radio. We need to loosen these 8 screws on the sides of the radio, as you see here and here, and open the box. So here you can see these 8 screws for a Phillips screwdriver. And also one thing you will need instead of screwdriver is these scissors, because inside the box is a tiny jumper which you need to replace. So there is the reason why I opened both covers of this radio, because I wanted to show you also interior of the QT80 transceiver. But if you need to only open the frequencies on this radio or unlock these frequencies, you need to flip the radio to the other side where is the speaker on top, and open the cover carefully, because there is a cable or the wire on the back. And here, let me show you this little jumper. And here in this front right corner of the radio, you can see, or you can find this jumper over here. So the unlock process we have to divide to 2 stages. Actually, the first stage is to do a hardware modification, and here on this board you can actually see this jumper field, and also numbers, pin numbers 1, 2 and 3. So all what you need to do is open this jumper and place it to this second position between 2 and 3. Also you can notice that the manufacturer marked this first position as a default position. The second stage will be about the software. So you need to close the cover and push some buttons. Let me show you. Before I close the cover on this radio, I would like to show you interior of this radio. As you can see, the quality of production of this transceiver. So you see that these high frequency stages in the radio are pretty well shielded. Inside the radio you can see here on the wall these stabilizer 7808 8-volt stabilizer, TDA 2003, which seems to be a audio amplifier. Here is UTC 278R150. I don't know. That is transistor or diode. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe you know. And you see the EMI filter here on the DC power. Here is the SO239 connector connected to this low pass filter. And finally this high frequency stage, or this linear amplifier here, which is connected to the pretty large heatsink. Also I see this interesting board over here. I have no idea for what it is. And the next, or the second side of this radio is very simple. So no parts or components on top side of this radio, as you can see. Good, so let me close the radio and unlock these frequencies through the panel. And you can also see that the speaker is on a connector, so you can unplug the connector when you are opening the lower cover of the radio. That's pretty simple. Connect your radio to power supply. Then push the band button and memory button and hold and turn on the radio. And then you can see ham band or HF band. Now you can select if you wish to use the whole band from 21 MHz up to 29 MHz, or just ham band, which is only 10 meter band. So I choose HF band, and long press of the function button you will reset the radio, and your radio works on 24 MHz right now. And as you see that the radio is turned into the VFO mode, so you can actually freely tune frequencies between 21 and 29 MHz. As you can see that there is the gap between some different bands, so you cannot go, for example, out of 21 MHz. See that you are 21.5 and then radio skips to the 24.7, and then you can also work normally or tune normally the radio up to 29 MHz. So you cannot listen to the broadcast stations between 21 and 24 MHz. If you wish to switch to the channel mode and go to the CB band, so here you can see the band delta, which is actually the CB band and 40 channels. If you wish to switch to another band, with the band button you're selecting between A and I think O. Yes, this is Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and so on. So if you wish to select the CB band, go to Delta, and here with this tuning knob you can go across the CB band. You can also use all the modes freely on the CB band, like upper sideband, lower sideband, external speaker, CW, and FM, and also AM. So all those modes you can use also on the CB band. And there is also one very interesting thing, that if you have unlocked your radio, if you turn off the radio and if you push and hold the band and memory button again and turn on the radio, you still can select the ham band, and long press of the function button you have back the amateur radio only, so 10 meter band only, as it was in default. But the jumper have to be in position between 2 and 3 in this case. So you always can change these settings through the software, and you no more need to open the cover and replace the jumper again. Well, but there is something on the QT80 what every CW operator should know about. the QT80 works also on CW mode. But if you look into the manual, you will see that on the rear panel you cannot find any CW socket. So where actually we can connect the CW key? You have actually two options. You can use the PTT button on the hand mic as the CW key. But if you are not really happy with this solution, you can do a second modification on the QT80. This is going to be a hardware modification, and for this modification you will need this tiny mono socket for 3.5mm jack. In my case, I'm using a stereo socket, but I have to connect both of them together and use it. Also, you will need 8 cm long 2 pieces of wires. Here I'm using this double wire. Okay, so then we have to disassemble the microphone, and we need to find a little space for this socket. Here on the back side of the mic you can see this counterweight, which is good for feeling and make this whole microphone a little bit heavier. Here inside the mic you can see this PTT button, which, as you can see, it is very simple to lose this little spring, so be careful. Here you can see the microphone cord, and this can be unplugged as well. So here we can see the microphone, and let me explain what we can do. Here on the bottom of the mic you can see a bit of space for this little socket. So I am going to drill a little hole here into the plastic and put this socket inside. But in my case, you see that the wall of this mic is too thick to be able to screw the nut on top of this socket. Therefore I have to grind a little bit from this plastic here and make this wall a little thinner. Next, I have to connect this little piece of wire between this socket and PTT button. So therefore I have to also remove the PCB board and connect this wire from downside of this board. So let me do this modification and hopefully it will work. This socket is 6mm wide in diameter, so therefore I'm going to use 6.5mm drill. And here you can see a little hole I pre-drilled already, and exact coordinates what you need is 8mm from this little corner of the mic to the hole, and 4mm from this corner to this hole, but not this upper corner or the upper edge, but this lower corner or the lower edge. I'm using this special drill with a special tip which cuts perfectly edges in the hole. As you can see, that the hole looks like from a CNC machine. Okay, so as you can see that this hole has been prepared for the socket, and I had a lot of work actually with grinding this thing inside. And also there is one difficulty, that we have here not rounded edges, so I had to do corners, actually flat corners here in this hole, so that was the really big challenge to me. And for it I have used this tiny screwdriver, also this tiny cutter, and also the bigger one, and also I have used this electric grinder machine. So now this hole is prepared, and I'm able to put inside this socket, and also there is enough space for the nut over here. So here, as you can see, I already prepared this piece of wire. You can see on one end this is going to be connected to socket, and this side to the PC board. So here, as you can see, I joined two pins, and also that one which is the ground of the socket, and a second will be connected to the PTT button to the PC board. Very good. So right here, right now, you can see this modification done on the board. So here you see that both wires are actually connected to this PTT button. There are 4 pins on it, and you need to connect the wire to these upper ones, because these lower ones are connected to the ground. And here you can see how I connected my socket. You see that right and left channel, or the pin, are connected together. I left also some space inside for the jack connector. Ta-da! And the mission is complete, and here you can see the CW key socket on the mic, and everything fits perfectly inside, so that is really cool. And now I can assemble all these things to this mic. And that's the microphone after assembly. I think it looks good. This is my Super Trooper micro CW key. And here you can see the power consumption of this radio. I'm testing this radio here on 12.5 volts, which is, I think, the common or very usual voltage when is this radio driven in the car from the battery. So I'm currently in upper sideband and you can see 290 milliamp. This is power consumption on receive and minimal audio. If I turn the audio to maximum, it is 300 milliamps. So not a big difference. And when I switch to the other modes like lower sideband, it's still the same. This is external speaker. This is CW mode. And this is FM mode. And this is AM mode. And this is back on single sideband. And what about the SWR meter on the QT80? So I'm going to test the SWR meter with this testing magnetic loop antenna in my workshop. It is capable to work with maybe 10, maybe 11 watts, level 22, 21, 22. That is actually 11 watts of the power from this radio. Firstly, I connect the antenna analyzer to this antenna, and as you can see, this SWR chart, which is excellent. As you can see, the SWR 1.0, almost 50 ohm impedance, and you see the frequency 21249. So now let me connect this antenna to QT80 and see what the SWR will be over there. As you see that I'm in the FM mode and push the PTT button, and there is SWR 1.0. So I can say that the SWR meter is precise on 15 meter band. And here you can see 10 meter band antenna has been tuned to frequency 28495 or 500. It is not very precise, but around 28500 is the SWR, around 1.2 on 10 meters. So let me connect it to the QT80. And 10 meter band on the QT80, SWR 1.0 instead of 1.2 as it was in the antenna analyzer, which means that it is a bit inaccurate than the antenna analyzer. But I think that 1.2 and 1.0, 1.1 is not really a big deal. So it is still very good SWR meter in this radio. And now I'm going to test the frequency accuracy on receiver, especially in the single sideband. And I'm going to use this software for my phone. I'm going to use this frequency generator, and as you can see, I set the frequency 28501, which is only 1 kilohertz higher than frequency set on the QT80. The reason when I turn on the volume, you will hear 1 kilohertz, which is the difference in the speaker. Yeah, this is 1 kilohertz sound, or the beat from the radio. So I put the signal from the signal generator into this radio, and you can hear in upper sideband 1 kilohertz beat. So here you should be able to hear 1 kilohertz frequency. If it's not, that means that this receiver doesn't receive on right frequency. So let me see here on the spectrum, and you can see here some peaks. And here you can see the frequency when I'm not talking, of course. 950 Hertz, which is very close to 1 kilohertz. So I have to say that is not necessary to do anything with this receiver, because the difference is just 50 Hertz. That's pretty cool. The next test will be the S-meter. Well, for the S-meter testing, we need to know this chart, which I found on the website Victor Uniform 2 November Sierra Bravo.com. Very nice chart, which is the standard units, ITU or YARU. So here you can see S units. S9 is equal to 73 minus dBm. So if we set minus 73 dBm on the signal generator, then we can look on the screen of the radio, and there we can see S9 on the S-meter. Next we can test the S5 over here. So the S5 is minus 97 dBm. So let's go to the signal generator and set 97 dBm minus. And what is on the S-meter? Well, there is S5 on the S-meter. That is good. And the next is the unit S1 over here. So that is the minus 121 value. So let's go here, and 121 minus, which is the S1 unit. And what is on the screen? S1. This S-meter is quite accurate. So now let me perform the output power test on the QT80. My QT80 is currently connected to the 2-element hex beam antenna. The power is set to its maximum level, which is 45. Here on top you can see the digital SWR and power meter with maximum power rating 120 watts. And the radio is connected to this 30 amp power supply. So we should have a maximum power. So let me do this test on alpha mic modulation. I'm going to use 1 kilohertz tone. We have SWR 1.1 and power is peaking somewhere around 71 watts. Next is the upper sideband. Here you can see that it is peaking 64, 66, 64 watts. Next, the lower sideband. Also 63 watts peaks. External speaker and CW. Only 22.6 watts. And FM mode. Here we have 42 watts on FM. And now the same test but on 15 meter band. FM mode, SWR 1.1, and we can see 35 or 36 watts. AM modulation. We can see peaks around 65 watts. Upper sideband. We can see peaks around 45 watts PEP. Lower sideband. Peaks around 51 watts PEP. And CW around 19 or 20 watts. And also the same test but on 12 meter band, FM mode. It's 46 watts. AM mode. It's around 64 watts PEP. Upper sideband. It's around 55 watts PEP. Lower sideband. Around 56 watts PEP. And CW. Around 16.4 watts PEP. So regarding the manufacturer, we should have on AM 80 watts PEP. FM 50 watts and single sideband 80 watts PEP, but it is declared on the frequency range between 28 and 29.7 megahertz.
Well, this is Echo Africa 6 Mike Radio, the Balladic Islands. Where's that?
Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango.
Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango, booming here. Nice to meet you again, Paul. I see we have had a contact on 6 meters, then now we are 12. You are 5 and 9, very strong and clear here in the island of Binoka this morning, Paul. I'm 0 ET, Echo Alpha 6 Mike Radio, over.
Echo Alpha 6 Mike Radio, Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango. Very good morning also to you. Yes, operator name is Paul and your signal is beautiful. You're 5-9 here. I'm testing a new transceiver which is the Radioddity QT80. I'm currently running about 60 watt PEP and or maybe 65 watt PEP from this radio and 2-element hex beam antenna. What is my audio, please, and what is my signal report again? Over.
Yeah, the signal report is 20 over 9. The signal report is with 60 watts. I believe that cannot be better. So 20 over 9, the report. And the audio is quite good, really very low, very clear, and very nice audio. So excellent conditions at the present time, Paul. I'm 0 ET, Echo Alpha 6 Mike Radio, over.
Okay, many thanks, my friend. Many thanks for these details and your opinion. I'm very happy that this radio works so well. It is a mobile radio transceiver, QT80. You can see it on the Google. So many thanks again for this short QSO. I wish you 73. Enjoy the weekend. Echo Alpha 6 Mike Romeo, Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango.
QSL, Paul, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and I hope to meet you once again in the future. Have a very pleasure weekend and enjoy with this new transceiver. and enjoy with the antenna as well. Best wishes, Paul. Thank you. I'm 0ET, Echo Alpha 6, Mike Romeo. Bye-bye.
Thank you, 7-3, my friend.
Hello, CQDX. Here it's Foxtrot 5, Papa, Oscar, November. Florida 5, Pacific, Ontario, Nancy.
Oscar Mike 0, Echo Tango.
Radio Quebec. Radio 4, Radio Quebec.
Oscar Mike 0, Echo Tango.
Oscar Mike 0, Echo Tango, Oscar Mike 0, Echo Tango, back to you, mister, with my best 73.
QSL, this is Oscar Mike 0, Echo Tango, operator Paul, and you are 57, 5 and 7, over.
Okay, thank you very much for the 5-7 in Slovak Republic. Okay, Paul, my name is Michel, and my PTH near Bordeaux, a small village near Bordeaux. You're seeing your report 5-7. Okay, for my working condition, I am using the Fox Tango, Yezu Fox Tango i47 with 100 watt, and my antenna is a cubical quad beaming for you. So, mister, I confirm this contact on QRZ.com. I confirm the contact on QRZ.com. Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango, Foxtrot 5 Papa Oscar November, and thank you very much for the picture on your homepage, Paul. Back to you, Paul.
Foxtrot 5 Papa Oscar November, Oscar Mike 0 Echo Tango returning. Thank you very much for your details. I am working with a new transceiver Radioddity QT80, which is 15, 12 and 10 meter band mobile transceiver. I am currently running around about 60 watts PEP, into the 2-element hex beam antenna. Many thanks for 5 and 7, you are also 5 and 7. I wish you a very good day, 73, and enjoy the weekend, over.
Okay, Paul, but no, you see your report, it's 59 plus 20 dB. 59 plus 20 dB, okay? Because perhaps I don't see exactly at the beginning of the QSO, but no, you see your report 59 plus 20 dB, Paul. Okay, thank you very much for the short contact, and I try to do some QSO with Japan station, and perhaps sometime with the Pacific station. So, thank you very much. Good weekend. Take care. And good luck, Paul. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, my friend. 73, and good luck with Japan. Bye-bye.
Radio 4, Radio Quebec.
Radio 4.